Good morning and welcome to the new edition of my live comments. Aristotle long back said that the first system would always be tribalism, monarchy, followed by constitutional monarchy, followed by dictatorship. And the best form of the government is democracy. And one factor that went against monarchy being a better form of government was the dynasty. The king's son would be a king, though he might be an idiot. And it was presumed, especially at that time, that democracy would not be afflicted by this disease of dynasty. At that time, there were city-states, people were elected, and it was almost never done that father would somehow or the other train his son to be the ruler. And as a matter of fact, Plato in his Republic says that an ideal king is a person who has no family, no wife, no children, no brothers, no sisters. Because then he'll have no axe to grind. And the Scrooge of dynasty would not be there. But now, wherever I see in any so-called democratic country, I find that the Scrooge of dynasty is eating into the vitals of that democracy. Here in Canada and Ontario, I may say the entry of Caroline Mulroney in the leadership race for Ontario PC set me thinking, why? This lady, however competent he may be, with zero experience, not even being a member of any legislature, not even a municipal councillor ever in her life, after having spent 20 years as a leading lawyer, is hoping to be the leader of an opposition party, which is very likely to be the ruling party this year, and she'll be the premier without any exposure. All those pleas that were raised against Trump seem to have fallen on deaf ears now, because she is daughter of Brian Mulroney. Is the fact of daughter of a former prime minister sufficient qualification to be a premier or a prime minister? And if I look at other parts of the world, I find the same thing happening. There are families which have ruled and which are ruling and which would continue to rule. And these families become household names, and the qualification only is that he or she happened by an accident of biological birth to succeed his or her ancestors in ruling the country and maybe destroying the country in the process. In India, we saw Jawaharlal followed by Indira. And then there was an interregnum, then again Indira came and her son. And now the son of former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, grandson of Indira, great-grandson of Jawaharlal Nehru, is girding up his loins to jump into the prime ministerial chair should Modi falter. And, I was amazed that last November when he was made the leader of the party, the process was called not an election but a coronation. So are we going back to royalty? Next to us, Sri Lanka. Mr. Bandaranaike, he was killed, his wife became the prime minister. And when she died, the daughter became the prime minister and the president. what's the logic? Same happens in Korea. You'll call it a dictatorship. But I've given you two democracies. Now comes the third democracy, Pakistan. Zade Bhutto and Benazir Bhutto, then Zardari, and now Bilawal waiting in the wings. On the other side, Sharif and his now wife waiting in the wings, Mariam, to take over. USA, the dynasty families are there. Look at Bush, senior Bush, junior Bush, the third Bush would have been there had Trump not defeated him. Clintons. So how is it that the families are coming to the forefront and ruling? Is it democracy? I don't think so. And one thing you can see that the mother of democracy, modern democracy, in the world is England. And there, luckily, the dynastic rule has not come up, though there is a dynasty in the Buckingham Palace. But there is no dynasty in the 10 Downing Street. That is democracy. Now the point is, why do the dynasties attract people and why are they successful despite the fact that the children may not be as capable as the parents were? Johar was lucky to have Indra. Indra was not that lucky to have Rajiv, and Rajiv's son is a complete dud. We have seen in Canada, Pierre Trudeau was an international statesman, and some would say so is his son. Although his strongest point is showing off his socks. Now coming to the point, why do people want a family? Why even in a democracy there is a penchant towards dynasty? There is an inherent reason for that. According to the people and their thinking, a dynasty provides a stability. In the turbulent times, the dynasty, the family, is a rock of stability to which they can anchor their ships because A, a certain aura has come to be associated with it. B, they believe that the children inherently and instinctively learn from their parents. And even though they might be idiots, they are not as big idiots as they would be otherwise. Thirdly, people feel that being born in a certain family gives them inherent benefits. And most important is, the family when in power had used fair means and foul means to purchase loyalty and to create diversions for the people. Is it good? Definitely not. It's a very rare chance that the real deserving would become the Prime Ministers. Had it a matter of deserving after Indira, the next Prime Minister would have been Narasimha Rao and not Rajiv Gandhi. I'm not talking of the half a dozen other Prime Ministers who came in the interregnum without providing any leadership. That was a dark period, the Janta rule, having about 6, 7 Prime Ministers who were for 3 months, 6 months, and they didn't contribute anything. Rajiv was the next, but it should have been Narasimha Rao. Then again, when Rajiv died, the next Prime Minister should not have been Manmohan, but should have been Pranab Mukherjee, according to capabilities. As a matter of fact, when Indira died also, Pranab Mukherjee should have been invited. He was constitutionally number 2 man. But no, it was Rajiv, who was just an MP, he was invited because he was son of Indira. Bilawal has no experience in Pakistan, and yet he would be invited. He has practically become the chair of the PPP and would be the next Prime Minister. So, the inherent insecurity coupled with inferiority complex, coupled with awe that has been generated around the family, an aura of excellence that has been created, though it's a misleading one, makes people believe that dynasty is important. It's not that dynasty precludes the emergence of capable men otherwise. Abe Lincoln didn't belong to any dynasty, and yet he was one of the most successful presidents. But Roosevelt and all others, they were dynasty. In India, Narendra Modi has no dynasty, and he is proving to be quite a capable person. As a matter of fact, dynasty and democracy are antithetical. And there has been a proposal many times, and we have discussed it many times in our circles, that there should be a ban on dynastic principle. But then the opposition to that is also true. How can you ban a person from coming up? He might be legitimate. It's for the people to understand and reject a person solely because he's coming because of his dynasty. As Justin came, as Rajiv came, as Brian Mulroney's daughter would possibly come. Because it will be an act of injustice if you ban dynasty. Because then you are banning the possibility of merit being banned as well. And you cannot have democracy, so it's a catch-22 situation, catch-22 situation. You are damned if you have it, you are not damned if you have it. Now, how to prevent that? The best way is educating the people. Educating the people to understand their own needs first, the country's needs, and the situation, geopolitical situation all over the globe. And then take a decision. Now what happens is, when the dynasty rules, the other factors like global situation, economy, take a leave. And that is where the problem comes in. You know, there was one suggestion made at one time that the last name should not be permitted. So then you don't know whether Rajiv is son of Indira or not, or Benazir is daughter of Zulfi or not. But then, can you really do it? Is it not infringing on the personal rights of those people? So as I said earlier, it's a catch-22 situation. But this damn, I was going to say dame, the women, but no, it's a damn, D-A-M-N, damned dynasty that is a scourge of democracies. So one I said was people have to be educated. Secondly, the followers in that party have to be educated that they should not accept dumbly and like maroons and reports, anybody being foisted on them. And this is seen all over. The dynastic principle is the very antithesis of democracy. The dynastic principle perpetuates the rule of one law, then what's wrong with the very concept of monarchy? Bring it back. Crown a family a king and have done with it. Or better still, follow the Malaysian example. Elect a king and let him rule for as long as he wants. But don't play with hounds, don't hunt with the hounds, and don't run with a hare. You have got to decide whether you're a democracy or not. If a person is capable, and I'm not denying the fact that the children of some leaders can be really gifted. Benazir was definitely capable. Indira was definitely capable. But it should not be an added qualification, which it is today. As a matter of fact, it should be a negative qualification. If two persons are capable, one from the dynasty, others from the non-dynasty, and they're at par, my choice would be to go to the person who is not from the dynasty. Because inherently, dynastic rule is abhorrent, hateful, despotic, and perpetuates myths. Slowly and steadily, the dynastic family, if it rules for 3 or 4 generations continuously, degenerates into dictatorship. And that's not what we want. As the people of fact, it's incumbent on the people in all democratic countries to ensure that dynastic rule is not perpetuated. That dynasty should be a barrier, an impediment, and not an enabler of those people to rule others. Think about it. If you are democratic, you cannot have dynasty. It's as simple as that, and nothing else which interferes with is relevant. The only relevant thing is dynasty and democracy are antithetical, unacceptable, and must be rejected, that very concept.